The legacy of Stoicism, comparison and conclusion. 3 men, 3 lives that could not have been more different: an emperor, a senator, and a slave. Yet each walked the same inner path. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the greatest empire on earth; Seneca, who navigated the perilous theater of Roman politics; Epictetus, who owned nothing, yet taught the meaning of true ownership, the self. Together, they form a human triangle of Stoic wisdom, power, passion, freedom, a shared vision. What united them was not circumstance, but conviction. They believed that virtue, the pursuit of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, is the only true good. They believed that reason, when rightly used, can free us from anger, fear, and despair. And they believed that happiness is not found in wealth, comfort, or fame, but in alignment with nature, both inner and outer. For Marcus, this meant seeing himself as a small part of a vast cosmic order. For Seneca, it meant practicing moral integrity amid temptation. For Epictetus, it meant mastering thought itself, until no external power could disturb his peace. Each man faced his own storms. Marcus battled war and disease. Seneca struggled with wealth and conscience. Epictetus endured slavery and hardship, but none of them used suffering as an excuse. They used it as material, as training for the soul. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Fire tests gold, adversity tests brave men. Seneca. Difficulties show a person's character. Epictetus. 3 variations of one truth. Hardship is not the enemy of peace. It is the forge that creates it. Their differences. And yet, their differences make their harmony even more remarkable. Marcus Aurelius teaches duty, the stoicism of leadership. He shows how to remain humble when the world places you on a pedestal. His writing is introspective, a private dialogue between power and principle. Seneca teaches balance, the stoicism of daily life. He speaks to our contradictions, our ambitions, our longing for virtue while living among distractions. He reminds us that philosophy is for imperfect people, for those who are learning, failing, and trying again. Epictetus teaches freedom, the stoicism of the mind. He strips philosophy down to its essence. Control your judgment, and nothing can enslave you. He shows that true liberty has nothing to do with status or circumstance, only with the mastery of thought. Their voices differ in tone, but not in truth. Together they form a conversation across time, one that still whispers through the noise of modern life. Stoicism today. 2,000 years later, the world looks very different, but our inner world has not changed. We still battle anger, envy, anxiety, and fear. We still chase comfort, approval, and control, and still suffer when we lose them. That's why Stoicism has re-emerged in our era, not as an antique philosophy, but as a living one. In psychology, its echoes appear in cognitive behavioral therapy, the idea that our thoughts, not events, shape our emotions. In leadership, its lessons guide resilience, humility, and service. In daily life, its maxims appear on podcasts, apps, and social media, short lines that remind us to pause, breathe, and focus on what we can control. But beyond all modern reinterpretations, Stoicism remains a timeless practice. It doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be aware. When you are wronged, it asks for patience. When you are praised, it asks for modesty. When you are in pain, it asks for courage. When you are happy, it asks for gratitude. It is philosophy, reduced to its essence, how to live, here and now, with integrity. The practice of Stoicism. If Marcus, Seneca, and Epictetus were alive today, they would give us the same assignment they gave themselves. Practice. Start each day with reflection. What kind of person do you want to be? End each night with honesty. Did you live according to your values? This daily rhythm, simple yet profound, is Stoicism in motion. Epictetus would say, when something disturbs you, ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Marcus would say, when you feel anger, remember the humanity of the other person. Seneca would say, when you waste time, remember how little of it you truly own. In those moments, small, quiet, ordinary, philosophy becomes real. The final reflection. Picture the three of them now, Marcus Aurelius, writing by the light of a campfire on the Danube frontier, Seneca, composing a letter in the stillness of night, reflecting on mortality, Epictetus, speaking to his students in a bare classroom, his voice steady, his gaze kind. 3 lives, 3 worlds, 1 philosophy. Each, in his own way, is saying the same thing. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control who you are while it happens. That is the heart of Stoicism. That is the discipline of freedom. And that is why, after 2 millennia, their voices still guide us. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius. As long as you live, keep learning how to live, Seneca. First, say to yourself what you would be. Then, do what you have to do, Epictetus. We began this journey asking, how can we live well? The Stoics answered, by choosing virtue over comfort, reason over reaction, and peace over control. They remind us that calm is not weakness, that discipline is not denial, that wisdom is not distant. It lives in every choice to stay kind, patient, and present, even when the world isn't. And perhaps that's the truest legacy of Stoicism, that freedom isn't given. It's practiced every day, in every thought, in every moment of restraint, gratitude, and courage. The world changes. The heart of philosophy does not.